happen, particularly in an election year that we have to focus on getting Ted and others elected locally and in the county. And I think we have a lot of opportunities in Monroe County this year. I do believe that for a variety of reasons, but not the least of which was the 3 congressional races that we came very close to winning last time. We didn't quite win them, but we came really close, surprisingly close, to a lot of observers and people on both sides of the aisle. That the political landscape in upstate New York has fundamentally changed. And I'm proud of being a contributor to that, but we must take advantage of that opportunity. This is the time when I think we actually saw grassroots campaigns really help, really challenge long-term incumbents and entrenched incumbents. In my case, a very long-term incumbent who's extraordinarily entrenched. In the case of Randy Kuhl, he hasn't been around as long, but his district is a lot more Republican, and yet both these races were extremely close. And then, of course, even in the Jack Davis-Reynolds race, obviously Reynolds had some issues, but we need to challenge him again. And so I really want to remind all of you what I've been telling myself a lot lately, but I think it was the Herbert Reisman who originally said it, but Pat Moynihan, my mentor and former employer, used to say it all the time. America's the land of the second chance. And we came so close. I just hate to feel that folks in Monroe County think that coming close and then give up. Instead, no, we take the blood, we want more. And that's what we have to do. So, I'm very proud to say that I will be running again. Why one announces these things so early is because legally we have to in order to raise money. So, and we cannot allow Congressman Walsh or any of these incumbents to have the kinds of advantages they had last time. Congressman Walsh raised about $1.3 million, and I raised about a little over $900,000 in the last race. But he spent $1.8 million. So how did he raise only 1.3 and spend 1.8? Well, he had $500,000 left over from previous campaigns. One of the reasons why we need fundamental campaign finance reform. How is that fair? Already the campaign finance system really is a benefit to incumbents. But even more so, you can bring money over from 10 years ago, 9 years ago. He had no opponent in 2004, so clearly he had that war chest. And frankly, I mean, it's a good thing that Stephanie Aldersley ran against him in 2002, and he would have even had more money, because at least he spent a few $100,000 just to make sure she didn't get anywhere. So it's very, very important that we do keep up, and that's difficult. And it's difficult given, everybody knows that, we'd like to have a universe where we don't have to ever worry about high donors and certainly not have the kind of interest groups that have that kind of power. But the good news is we made a lot of progress in the last race. Even in terms of fundraising, we outraised Walsh and individual contributions. So he raised $400,000 more from us because that's all the PACs, that's all interest groups. We outraised them in individual contributions, and we had an awful lot of grassroots support, small contributors, volunteers, and a lot of people have come up to me since and said, "Gee whiz, Dan, I think the world of you. I thought you had a good campaign, and I love where you stood on the war, and so I wanted to support you. But if I'd known you had a chance of winning, gosh, I would have really helped." Well, look, now we all know. And the other good news is we are going from 06, a good year for Democrats, no question about it, and a good year in New York State. But in terms of voter turnout, in terms of the thing that really gets Democrats elected in tough districts or against incumbents, 08 is a presidential year. And it makes all the difference in the world. In the last election, we came just about 3,000 votes short in this district. I think we're the closest. All 3 of these districts were very close. A handful of thousands of votes. A handful of votes per precinct. In all of them. But in my district, I know I got 107,000 votes. Walsh got 110,000 votes. We're going to see at least 40,000 more voters coming to the polls and voting in the congressional race in a presidential year. That's a fairly modest expectation. And those voters are going to trend our way. They're going to trend our way for 2 reasons. One reason is because we're in a blue district, in my case, a blue district in a blue state, a district that John Kerry won and Al Gore won and Bill Clinton won twice. And secondly, it's going to happen because, unfortunately, it's something that we all need to change. Democratic voters are less likely to vote But the good news there is that the Republican base, they've already come out. They already came out in '06. In '08, it's going to be more of our voters. And because of that, it's very easy to see what Mr. Walsh is doing. He's trying to pretend he's a left guy. He's veering to the left. Oh, the war, I was never thrilled with the war in the first place. Yeah, I don't want to send any more people over there. The minimum wage, I was always for raising the minimum wage. Now, he can argue whatever side he wants. The fact is he didn't do anything in Congress to bring up things like raising the minimum wage, things like fixing the Medicare prescription drug bill. So now that the Democrats have gotten in power and done those, I'm glad he supports them. But I do think it's a little too late. But on the war, I think we have to be particularly vigilant. And the reason is because he did vote the right way, in my view, and not send 21,000 more troops over there. But it was a non-binding resolution. Then all of a sudden he says, well, no, I'm not, then I'm going to vote with the president when it comes to ending our long-term commitment. A bill that was, carefully crafted by the Democrats. There was a lot in there that maybe wasn't perfect and wasn't ideal. But at least it really did end this open-ended commitment. And yet Walsh then voted the other way. So now he voted for the war before he voted against it, before he voted for it. So it's very, very important that we keep the pressure on, and we absolutely make it clear that it's not being a moderate and playing both sides are different things. Just because he's playing both sides of these issues doesn't mean he's being a moderate. And then finally, it's ever so important here in upstate New York that we remember that we have to change our economy and our area to one that exports people, young people particularly, and jobs to ones that exports goods and services again. And this is something that Randy Cool, Reynolds, and Walsh, it just goes right over their head. They don't even see it. They have old models, bring home an appropriation here or there, appear at this and give a check of taxpayer money and claim that it's from you. But it's not helping us. And I think we're going to have a lot more success now that people know it's possible to defeat these entrenched incumbents. We're going to have a lot more success because people are going to say, well, gee whiz, I never really thought about it, but after that last run, I know that we can beat this guy and maybe it's time for new blood. That's where you come in. This is an area of the country, because we've lost population, that I do believe people want change, but I don't know, they're also a little cautious. Part of that is because a lot of the people who are sort of the most interested in change, they've moved. The young people have moved. A lot of us who have, connections here, family, we want to come back, but a lot of us have also moved away. So, yes, we need change. There's this clear sense that the area is going in the wrong direction as a region. But we also have to get people the information they need to make a comfortable choice for change. This is where I believe we fell short last time. We had a good argument about Walsh, but at the end of the day, people simply didn't know enough about what we were going to do in a positive way. That's what DFA is all about, getting out a positive message, not just running on the we're not them, but we're us. And that's what I really hope to do. And now, fortunately, I think we'll have a lot more resources to do it. I'm also looking forward to, I think, getting the interest of the national DFA much, much earlier. Last time we tried, I know many of you tried on my behalf and the campaign's behalf, to get through the national, to get support from the national, but we never got financial support. We got moral support, we got emails, we got that sort of thing. But really, the DFA presence in my race was all local. It was you, and it was, to a certain extent, fingerless DFA. But not national. Well, I got a call 2 days ago from the finance director at national DFA already saying, we're doing a big party in New York City. We want you to come as somebody who ran a great race last time, but who's going to run again in this time winning. So they're already inviting me now. Just what a difference 2 years makes, right? So I want, and if you can contact them, the home office, Burlington, and particularly when Mr. Dean is here, and sort of tell them, thank you for being in touch with Dan. We know it's early, but we hope you remain interested in him because we're very interested. That helps a lot. The other place I really need your help, and it doesn't matter if you live in the district or not, is I need to be out there, particularly, again, in this part. I do live, in Syracuse. So I need to be at important events. I can't be at everything on this side of the